Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to Kyle Can't Game. It's been a while since I made a Jurassic Awakening video, and there's a good reason for that. I am currently in the throes of the long, tedious, boring endgame session of breeding for boss battles. Not exactly the most exciting gameplay to watch. That is, until my tribe mate taught me about using traits for better breeding. And I'm going to pass that knowledge to you in my own likely much weaker way. For the record, Heliotro and I tribed up on the island. As you can see, we have the best tribe name. We are both struggling to play on two separate servers and also do our other JA related jobs. His being fixing wildcards code and mine being trying to entertain you on YouTube. So we teamed up. Now I get to continue playing on the island, my favorite map, especially for Jurassic Awakening, and he gets to be on the center where his attention is more needed. But one really important thing to mention. For over a year now, I've been on the same playthrough on the island. I've been playing solo. I went from a private server to their official PvP cluster. It's really important to me that I complete this map with my creatures. So right now I'm breeding up my super endgame Chalice army, and once that is done, you'll see me get into some fun adventures with Halio, and it should be an absolute blast. Now, back to how to use traits for better breeding. I want to start off by saying that this process can be incredibly complex. It involves a lot of numbers, probabilities, stats, but the takeaways are simple. I'm not going to get into the specific numbers and probabilities. I'm just going to show you how to use these mechanics to make your life easier. Because here's the thing, the lead developer for an incredibly deep and complex mod like Jurassic Awakening, you want that guy to be OCD, know all the numbers guy, and to understand things in a very deep way. But for the guy you watch on YouTube to entertain yourself, you just need that guy to tell you how it works. So here's the conundrum we have. Here we have 6 Karch hunters from the island map. 1 male right here that has all the good stats, and 5 females, all with various levels and obviously various stats. As far as breeding goes, that's pretty simple. You just keep making babies until you get babies that have all the good stats. But here's the problem. Jurassic Awakening has incredibly long breeding cooldown timers. Like, look at this guy. 3 days, 12 hours, and I bred these yesterday morning. I've seen cooldowns as long as 6 days on a Karch hunter before. That means it could take months to even get a perfect 0-0 breeding pair, and that's why what I'm showing you right now is so important. So let's take a look at the male Karch hunter's inventory. Here you'll see that we have 5 traits on this guy. 2 health robust level 2, 2 melee robust level 2, and 1 melee robust level 3. We're lucky that 1 creature has all the best stats that we want to transfer over. Now let's look at its overall stat distribution. 99 HP, 89 stam, 90 food, 80 weight, 94 oxygen, and 103 melee. Little homie is a monster, right? Now, let's head up to my egg incubator and check out what happened on my very first round of breeding these guys. Alright, so as you can see inside here, we have 5 Karch hunter eggs. Now for the stats that we had traits for, melee and HP, let's see how we did. So here we go. 1 female, got both stats. 1 male, got both stats. 2 females, got both stats. 2 males, got both stats. And 1 dud. Look at that, guys. Now, we got very lucky getting 2 females in 1 breeding session, but 4 out of 5 of these eggs got the better stats. Those are fantastic results, and it was as easy as putting traits onto 1 creature. Now we have 1 male, this guy, that we can just crack the egg on. Don't care about him, don't even need to raise him. The 2 males that got the good stats, we can raise them, saddle them, and level them. They can just be part of our army, right? They got the stats that we care about the most. We can use them for now. But the really exciting part is that we have 2 females with the most important stats. So now what do? Well, we're going to hatch them and raise them and use them to replace our breeders. Because during our next breeding session, we're going to replace the melee and HP traits and use these instead. We've got 2 oxygen robust, and 2 food robust. Those are the stats that were missing from those 2 females. So the babies from those eggs are very, very likely going to be perfect 0-0 babies, and that's how we're going to build our entire breeding line. We should have perfect 0-0 breeding line to start mutations in 2 generations. Not 6, not 10, 2. That is the power of these traits. Now you're probably starting from scratch with traits. I'm lucky enough that I tribed up with Mr. Trait Master himself. But doing this is very, very simple. You just need to find an animal with universal traits, find the trait you like, tame it, steal the trait, do whatever you want with the creature. Honestly, looking at our tribe log, it looks like he went out the other day and, yeah, tribe killed baby feral Arctic Triceratops. So I think he got the trait he wanted off there and disposed of the evidence. But I can tell you now that in the Arctic, your best bets are going to be large feral packies, Arctic elks, and Arctic trikes. These are all carriers of universal traits. Not only that, but they all knock out with just a few simple arrows and tame up with just a handful of snowberries. So the process couldn't be simpler, really. But let's go back downstairs and I'll show you the rest of the process. So first off, I want to show you how to differentiate between universal or non-universal traits. Then I'll show you how to use the same traits on multiple breeding lines. Then just a couple tips to save you some headaches. So first, differentiating between universal and non-universal traits. Let's go up to this Elder Arctic Megatherium. We'll grab a gene scanner that doesn't have any traits on it, and if we pull it out, you'll see it says Tier 1 Excitable with the word Megatherium in parentheses. Hint, hint, that trait is specific to Megatherium, meaning you can't take it off and use it on anything else. Whereas looking at my newly bred large Arctic polar bear, you can see that I have 2 fast learner traits on it. Because A, they're universal. I can pull them and push them as I like. And B, I'm currently leveling it up as part of my Chalice armies. Now, how do you use these same traits on 2 different breeding lines? Over here, you'll see that I have a male deep Arctic saber-tooth king. That's right, cross-species breeding on Jurassic Awakening, because he's breeding with these female Arctic saber-tooth kings. So cross-species breeding, which is going to be its own whole video someday. But I can't get into that right now. But as you can see, it has no traits on it. I have 2 days of breeding cooldowns on these females. The Karch Hunter females have 3.5 days of cooldowns. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over to the male Karch Hunter that has all the traits, and I'm going to pull these traits off of it. Now this part is very specific. I'm going to remove these traits one at a time, starting at the bottom. Every trait that I pull off, I'm going to grab a new gene scanner. Messing up any step of this, storing multiple traits on a single gene scanner, or removing the top trait before the bottom, can completely break the traits. I don't know why, I don't know how, I just know that that is true. So take your time, have 1 scanner per trait, and remove from the bottom to the top. By the way, all these universal traits and everything, all this stuff, so much easier than vanilla, so much better than vanilla, because it's Jurassic Awakening. They took a mechanic created in vanilla and made it much, much better. But we took our time, we did all the traits one by one. Yes, it takes a lot of gene scanners, that's fine. But now I'm going to find the one we want, which is the 3 melee robust right here. And we'll pop them into this guy. And then I'll do that with the other 4 traits too. Boom. Now I smacked them into my other breeding line. Let these guys go to town when their breeding cooldown's done. And I'm all set. Now obviously, you know, you want to look for tier 3, tier 2, higher than tier 1, right? That makes a lot of sense. Even if you don't know anything about the vanilla traits, just know tier 3 gives you a much higher chance than tier 1 does of passing on the stat. But that's part of the numbers that we don't really need to understand. All you need to know is get the traits off of a universal creature, put them on your breeding creatures, and watch the results come in. So lastly, I do have a couple tips. Like I said, 1 trait per scanner. Now, can this get tedious? Yeah, absolutely. Will you also eventually end up with a tribe mate that has a literal vault full of gene scanners and a little gerboa that quote unquote only has the useful ones? Most likely. Tip 2, don't use the gene storage. Again, stacking them up in one unit just doesn't work. And tip 3, for now, don't use traits on Desmodus or Mammoths. I don't know why it breaks them, it just breaks them. So just avoid that. Alright, but that pretty much explains the basics of using traits for better breeding in Jurassic Awakening. Like I said, I'm going to be spending the next long while hiding in my little breeding cave here, trying to get myself to endgame. I will probably make another video on, once we have the perfect stats, using traits also to get mutations. But it's not going to be the greatest content ever. So I do have some more videos planned, especially with traits, like I said. But I probably need Halio to explain them to me a bit more before I can explain them to you. Also, Chaz hit me up with a great video idea that I hope we have time to record before too long. So yeah, but if any of that sounds interesting to you, make sure you're subscribed. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.